Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have all of you here today for our meeting on May 20th. This is our second meeting of the month. If you happen to have a cell phone with you, I'd ask you to please turn it to off or vibrate. Now, if you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We gotta go just a little slower.
Our clerk is Holly Prane. Will you please call the roll?
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins. Here. Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Magistrate Logsdon.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session.
Judge, we're missing Woosley.
Oops. Got Woosley, didn't? All right, he's not here today. Having 8 of the 9 members here, this meeting is in session. All right. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Judge,
Yes, sir.
there's one thing I'd like to need to add today. We need to add to the agenda on $20,739.90, a change order under the spring 2025 paving, and Jim Sellerman will explain that in more details here in just a little bit.
All right, put that under C, under committee reports and recommendations. Jim Silliman and spring paving.
And I'll move that we approve the agenda.
Second. With the
Any other
changes.
additions?
Yes, with the addition.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now we'll approve the minutes, I believe, from our last meeting, which was 2 weeks ago today. Is there a motion to
Motion
accept
approved.
the minutes?
Second.
Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. It's time now for public comment. That's the time during our meeting when we allow, pardon?
Could I ask for a moment of silence for the folks that have been affected by the tornado that came through?
All right, sure can. Magistrate Hounds is asking for a moment of silence for the persons that were affected by the tornado. We didn't have too much damage here in Oldham County, but obviously Somerset and London, southeast Kentucky, had significant damage. So let's take a moment and ask God for assistance. Thank you. Time now for public comment. That's the time during our meeting when individuals in the community can address the court regarding any topic you'd like to speak about. We generally allow 4 minutes and per topic or per individual. When you come forward, we ask you to state your name and your address, please. So you're welcome to come forward. First individual.
Thank you.
Back again.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I need to do something. It looks like it's frozen to log in. It was the one about it.
Go back on it.
Oh, okay, thank you. And start. Good afternoon. My name is Alan Hayes. I live at 2923 North Highway 53 here in LaGrange. I want to be very clear up front. I'm not here to support the proposed data center, and I don't believe that Western Hospitality Partners have shown themselves to be trustworthy partners for Oldham County. At the first public meeting, we were told that this facility would be 2 stories, and the plans that they filed for show buildings up to 75 feet tall. They've made no real efforts to address the community concerns, and their plan pushes heat, moisture, noise, runoff, pollution into the neighbors without offering any meaningful mitigation. But I'm not here just to criticize. I'm here because I want the fiscal court to keep control of the situation before the control slips away. The developer is now calling this project a private utility. It creates a real legal risk. If the county doesn't document the harms and establish enforceable limits now, it opens the doors for a judge to say the decision was arbitrary and capricious. And once those words are on the record, it puts the county into a deep legal hole because it means you didn't build the case. The best time to protect your authority is before you're forced to defend it in court. That's why I'm asking you to That's why I'm asking you to take a step that puts the county in control by reviewing this thermal utility district proposal. First, let me explain briefly what this is. A thermal energy district captures the waste heat from a facility like this and it moves it through a closed loop water system, kind of like a hot water main. The heat can then either be reused or safely dissipated under county control. It's already in use in places like Indianapolis, Columbus, Paris, and Helsinki. It's proven it's not exotic, and it's built on the powers that the county already has. You already have the legal authority to do this. Kentucky law allows for the utility districts and recycling programs, including thermal energy. You control rights of way for infrastructure, and most importantly, you can require that the polluter pays for it. That means the system can be built and maintained at no cost to the taxpayers. That's why I'm asking you to refer this to the county attorney to verify the legal basis and how it could be applied. You also have the practical ability to do this. A thermal loop is just an insulated pipe system, no different in principle from water lines that you already manage. That's why I'm asking you to refer this to the county engineer to confirm it is feasible, it is environmentally safe, and is implementable with the tools and materials available. If you move forward with this, the county gains full regulatory control. You can prohibit moisture emissions and fog-forming vapor. You can require a closed-loop cooling system. You can deny additional water allocations, enforce a strict building and equipment height limit with no rooftop HVAC, require that all noise-generating equipment be enclosed inside the building, establish enforceable limits on noise, visibility, runoff, and humidity. So here's what I'm asking. I am not asking you to approve the data center project. I'm asking you to use your existing powers to regulate it fully if it proceeds, or to justify rejecting it with a solid record. So please refer the proposal to the county attorney, refer it to the county engineer, and assign it to the Environmental Recycling Utilities and IT Subcommittee to lead a policy review and report back. And if any member of the court or the public has any questions about this proposal, I truly welcome the chance to explain it further or answer anything I can. I am here to help. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking out for the long-term livability of Oldham County.
All right, Mr. Hayes, thank you. Might ask you, do you apparently have some expertise or knowledge in this area beyond the document here?
I do, no, my college education was in accounting, and then I got an MBA, and then other than that, I followed data centers, IT, and AI as an interested person just for the last decade as they built out.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address the fiscal court?
How do we turn this thing on?
I'm not sure.
There you go, it's on.
My name is Barry Laws. I live at 3411 Fendley Mill Road. I'm the constable for the district where this data center is being proposed. I ran for constable to keep our community safe. Magistrates, our community is not safe. Our children, parents, grandparents, and loved ones are living in fear and anxiety of a massive, heavy industrial project being forced upon us. All our property values are being threatened because of you, our leaders, didn't act. You knew Project Lincoln was a heavy industrial project, yet you turned a blind eye to being placed in a beautiful agricultural district without a thought of it being completely inappropriate for our community, completely in conflict with our comprehensive plan. You knew this. To date, only Magistrate Woosley, unfortunately not here, has clearly spoken in direct opposition. Only him. And shame on Western hostility partners who've used their money and influence to attempt to steal our quietly amazing countryside from us. They promised us streets paved with gold, and drunk with their promises, you've all chosen to disregard their wisdom. If it sounds too good to be true. And shame on Bob Jones and Jay Hall, both who are very well off in their own right. They're agreeing to bed down with this industrial mayhem will cost their friends, our neighbors, millions and millions and millions of your dollars in generational wealth. Bob Jones, Jay Hall, and Western Hostility are stealing Oldham County's wealth so they can make even more money. They're stealing our happiness and our security. How scummy is that from supposed friends and supposed pillars of our community? I'm pissed. Magistrates, your constituents are living in fear and anxiety. Do I have to repeat that? You don't seem to understand. It's time to get off your butts and do something. Be leaders.
Wait a minute.
Just say no.
We're going to use decent language in here. We're not going to
You don't like butts?
No, I don't care about your prior word that you used, and I'm going to caution everybody in here, you're able to give your opinion about data centers. When you start discussing private individuals in a public forum,
They're
you
business
may be
people,
subject
Judge.
to, let me speak or I'll ask you to sit down.
That's fine.
You may be, if you start discussing private individuals in a public forum, accusing people of stealing things, using pejorative terms like that, you may be opening yourself up to a lawsuit. So
Well, I
I'd be
appreciate
careful.
the protection,
I'd be
Judge.
careful on what I said about other individuals. If you don't like a data center coming here, you're very well able to express your opinion. But I wouldn't make negative statements about other people. All right?
Thank you for the advice. I'm Oldham County, and we're Oldham County.
All right, who's next? Oh, that's all right.
Good afternoon, Judge, Magistrates. Nathan Oberg, 1414 Yeager Lane, LaGrange, Kentucky, 40031. I'm going to take a different tact here, and I'd like to bring up more on hyperscale data centers and if and when they come. It's our contention, and I would like some agreement here, that historically Oldham County has not given tax incentives and tax incentive financing help on infrastructure like water and road improvements. And I would like to get a consensus that we should not give tax abatements, tax incentive financing, and improvements on current infrastructure that's more than adequate for the residents here in Oldham County. If WHP or another developer, another hyperscale data center comes into Oldham County, I would like to have an agreement. Are we going to give them any incentives, Judge? Are we going to give them any financing, tax incentive financing or incentives of any way? Can we agree that they need to pay for their own infrastructure?
We don't respond to questions here. We take comments and accept statements made, but we're not here to answer questions or debate issues at this
Okay.
point. But you're certainly welcome to state your opinion.
All right. Well, many thank you, and I urge you to consider that. If we do allow tax incentives and abatements and improvements on the current infrastructure, it just narrows down the amount of money that ultimately that the county will receive. And in other communities that have entertained the idea of hyperscale data centers, they didn't offer those incentives. They chose instead to capitalize on, as as much as they could. So I urge you to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address the fiscal court?
Judge, Magistrates, my name is Don Erler. I live at 4005 Old Highway 53, LaGrange. Thank you for allowing me to express my opinion as well. And Nate took my thunder a little bit, but I do implore the court to be very cautious about giving incentives to billion-dollar companies that want to come into our community. They have plenty of money. They have plenty of resources. And if they want to come into our county, they should pay to update infrastructure and things if that's necessary because of their activities. One other thing that I wanted to mention is that one of the keys in this activity was a financial incentive from this particular company. They said their improvement, their development would generate $51 million a year in additional property taxes. That's very attractive. Sounds really good, but if you give them incentives, that waters that down. If they give the school board 60%, approximately, our school taxes are about 50%, 60% of our tax burden in this county. If they give $51 million in property taxes and 38 of those millions of dollars go to the schools, every dollar that the school gets, the state reduces the reimbursement factor by 50%. So if you believe that the schools are going to get 38 million more dollars, take that 50%, and that would more reflect what that economic incentive is. So one of the things that's really, really important, and I think we all have recognized it, is we don't know what we don't know. And we really, really, really need to study this to make firm decisions on what makes sense on these kind of proposals. And whether the 53 site is appropriate or not is certainly up for opinion, but data centers are not going away. They're coming in here, they're tying up pieces of property and looking everywhere in this county. So Highway 53 is not the only target. We're going to see a lot more of this. So we need to really understand what these are, what they mean, the value they are to Oldham County. But I implore the fiscal court not to give billion-dollar companies incentive. That's just taking away from the dollars that we need to operate this county. Thank you, Judge.
Right.
Thank you, Magistrates.
Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to address this topic, or any topic?
Judge,
Yes, sir?
I would like to ask, Mr. Laws, would you step back up for a minute? I want to, what we talked about before court. It has nothing to do with data center per se. I think it's something the court should be aware of. What you showed me on your phone earlier.
Oh, it's gone now. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And he showed me something on his phone. I'm doing this off the cuff. But he showed me something on the phone. He was looking for a fiscal court, Oldham County Fiscal Court, and the page that came up, the screenshot that came up, was all about the data center. So it would appear to me, a novice at this, I may add, looks like somebody may be trying to bootleg off of our name, sending information as if we had sent it out. So I thank you for bringing that to my attention. I think that maybe our webmaster should know something about that.
Was it an ad?
He,
Was it an ad?
you,
No, I put in Oldham County Fiscal Court, and I got to CO, and all these things popped up. Oh,
I can't see that from here. That's it. Yeah.
What is it?
That's the OC Data
Oh.
website.
Okay. That was brought to my attention, and I asked last week it did be taken down. Disappointed to see that it hasn't been taken down.
That's all, that's Google.
That's on a private
Oldham County Fiscal.
website. I think who's ever promoting that from trying to provide information. I mean, we can't stop people from providing information. I requested that page be renamed General Fund because I believe it speaks to what they project the county receiving as a benefit if that project were to go through. So I didn't know, I asked that be changed to General Fund and not Oldham County Fiscal Court.
All right. Well, I don't want people to see,
Sorry to see it hadn't been.
I don't want someone to see that and then take the feeling that some decision had already been made.
No.
There's enough confusion right now. We don't need to
Right.
be adding to the pile to it. That's all I have to say about it.
That's right. That's right. Okay,
Do you have yours?
Good afternoon. My name is Robin Vessels, and I live at 1320 Bluegrass Parkway. And what I wanted to talk about this afternoon actually continues what was just brought up by Magistrate Dye and Mr. Laws. And I wanted to take a few minutes to read some words that are on the Oldham data center that disturb me. And number one, it says, after construction begins, the project is expected to deliver as much as $1 million in tax revenue to our fire department in the first year alone. Number two, after construction begins, the project is expected to deliver as much as $600,000 in tax revenue to our public libraries in the first year alone. Three, after construction begins, the project is expected to deliver as much as $250,000 in tax revenue to our health department in the first year alone. Number four, after construction begins, the project is expected to deliver as much as $130,000 in tax revenue to our extension services in the first year alone. Number five, after construction begins, the project is expected to deliver as much as $9.6 million in tax revenue to our Oldham County schools in the first year alone. After construction begins, the project is expected to deliver as much as $1 million in tax revenue to our fiscal services in the first year alone. The word our is a possessive adjective that indicates possession. The word our is a possessive adjective for which belongs to us. The data center is not part of us. The fire department, the libraries, the health department, the schools, fiscal court are not part of us unless has the fiscal court and Oldham County Economic Development given the fire department, the libraries, the health department, the schools, and the fiscal court to Oldham County Data Center. Is fiscal court involved in giving the Oldham County Data Center possession of our schools, libraries, fire departments, health department, and fiscal court? Or would it just be the Oldham County Economic Development that is doing this all by themselves? While I know that you have no control over what someone publishes on their website, this casts you in a very unfavorable position and makes it appear that you have approved the message. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the court?
Good afternoon.
Oh,
Thank you for open expression time. I'm Amy Wellborn. Do we have to state our name and address?
Pardon me, yes. You got your name, Amy, but your address?
3404 Shady Dell Boulevard, LaGrange. I'd like to point out I am not a resident adjacent to the proposed Lincoln project. I'm an old... What? Can't hear? Oh, sorry. I'd like to point out I am not a resident that lives next to the Lincoln project proposed data center, hyperscale data center. I am an Oldham Countian. I've lived here 31 years, I think. We raised our kids here in public schools. And I'd like to point out that, Judge Vogel, you've mentioned a couple of times that we are Oldham County. It's just a small representation of our population of almost 70,000 residents.
When did I say that?
Nate, you were talking to Nate about
That's
that.
secondhand what you've heard.
Okay. Well, he's mentioned it on social media that we are being dismissed as a group that is not a large enough representation to be considered in this issue of hyperscale data centers. I'd like to point out some statistics. Oldham County has about 3,500 people in the social media closed group at this time. Statistics show that actually 2 to 3 times can be the population that represents somebody that's actively on social media is actually 2 to 3 times that. For example, you may have a spouse that doesn't do social media and you're having the conversations and looking through things, but you're not, one chooses to engage and one doesn't. Having a household of 5 people, I have 2 adults that live in my house that are children, and they are not super engaged on Facebook. They like TikTok. I want to point that out because that 3,500 actually is much larger. And I'd also like to point out that we are not your opposition. We elected you. Please listen to us. Please don't dismiss us. WHP and the powers that be have sold you on an economic development promise that, to me as a citizen, feels more like a used car salesman. You are our gatekeepers, and you have failed us by selling us out for industrial development. I could have lived anywhere between Louisville
Judge, I
and
hadn't been
Carrollton.
sold out of anything. I heard about this a month ago. I'm tired of people throwing accusations at us about things that we don't even know about. So continue
In what
on.
respect?
Okay,
You don't
wait
know
a minute,
about-
I know
wait a minute.
now, but I haven't sold out a damn person in Oldham County, you included.
Well, I would like to point out,
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not going to allow anything other than one person at a time to speak, and we won't speak from the audience. We're going to maintain decorum here, and we'll let Amy finish what she wanted to speak. If the magistrate wanted to say something after everybody's finished, we'll have that at that point. But one speaker at a time.
thank you. Another statistic that I'd point out is Raise Your Voices, which is a very active social media site, did their largest poll ever on data centers in our county and found that 88% are completely against any data center in our county. Hyperscale data center, however you want to paint the picture, they do not want heavy industrial being developed in our county. We choose to live in this county because of what it is. I could have lived in Louisville. I worked in Louisville. My husband worked in Carrollton. We could have lived up that way. We chose Oldham County for its demographics, for the way of life, and I feel that this project, just choosing to allow one to come into our county, is not a done deal. Once you have one, you've set the precedence, and we're going to get more because you've allowed one. And I know we've got a lot of meetings this week that are going to help us set the tone of what we want for what is a hyperscale data center.
Okay, that's 4 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else like to address the court?
My name is Trey Webster. I was born and raised here. I went to that school right down there. I went to the high school right over there. And I went to that college right over there.
Okay. We have your address, Mr. Webster.
Pardon me?
Have your address, please.
2035 Eagles Landing Drive, LaGrange, Kentucky.
Okay.
I used to live on Kentucky Street in Yeager between John Black and J.W. Hall. J.W. Hall went to Eastern before me. He was a friend of mine. John Black was my stepfather. Been here all my life. And I come back from New York City and I find out that this, I don't know who's for it and who's against it, and I hope it's not a done deal. But I can't believe I come back to my own town and this is what I have to deal with. Do you realize what a data center is? It's a military installation for AI. And you're going to put it here where we want to have our children? Are you out of your minds? We're the wealthiest county in this state. Why do we need greed? Is that what it's about, greed? Because I'll tell you what, Carrollton would love to have it. Trimble County would love to have it. Any other place would love to have it. But you want to put it here? For what? Money in our pockets? Are you kidding me? We have a beautiful town here. And it outrages me. We have no idea what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years. We're all going to be out of work because it's going to be AI controlled. Robots are going to take your jobs. And if the robots don't take your jobs, this company that puts in this installation will put their own peons and government fixtures into this county. And none of you will have jobs. All right? AI will destroy what we have here. There was once said, there's enough in this world for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. And Gandhi said that. All right? If you let this thing come into our town, you've made us a strategic target for domestic terrorism and for terrorism and other wars. If anyone wants to come here, they're going to target these data centers. You don't think they're not? It's military. It's all military. And it's where our country's going, into Musk and this idiot Donald Trump, who's demonic. He's demonic.
Hey.
And you'll all kiss his ring. You'll kiss his ring, but it won't be this ring. It'll be the one on his backside that you'll be kissing. So, I cannot believe that anyone here who's from this town would put up with this unless all you want is money and gold, because that's what it's about. They're not going to bring in it. They're dangling a carrot in front of your faces. Here, take it. Once you take it, you're caught in the trap. It's a trap. Take it. See what happens to your children when they come into this town and your kids don't have a job and they're targets. Then see what you've got, Then see what you've got. Each one of you know better. I grew up here. My values were instilled in me here. And I don't know where you guys are from, but if you're from here, you don't want this in our state, period.
Okay, Mr. Webster, thank you. Your 4 minutes are up.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the subjects here?
My name is Rob Houchins. I live at 1400 Yeager Lane. I understand there's been a lot of effort put into trying to figure out what the regulations would be that we don't have in place for data centers. I would ask that Judge, everyone in the administration continue to move forward to try to put those regulations in place so that we can have the things we need in place as we move down the process. And I appreciate the fact that we're moving forward with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else to address the court? All right, I'm going to close the public comment here, and we'll see if Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Judge. I just wanted to say, as far as I know, I've not taken one vote, yay or nay, to have anything to do with a data center yet, and I don't think anybody here on court has. I'm a civil structural engineer. I gather data, I gather input, I gather facts before I will make any kind of decision. I just want to let you all know that. And the insinuations that you all are implying, some of these gentlemen raised their voice, said the only thing we're interested in is money, the only thing we're interested in is power. That's not true.
Prove it.
I will vote my own decision on this when I gather the facts. And all the breastbeating and rebel rousing that you all do does nothing but actually turns me in the other direction.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
anyone else? I'm going to say a couple things about this, and then we'll move on. We don't really have a long agenda today. Amy Wellborn came up here. Amy, you said that, quote you here, we are not your opposition. You know, Amy, we feel the same way. We're not your opposition. We live here too. We're citizens in this community, taxpayers, people who have essentially volunteered to be involved in these positions here. We're not here to, do something for ourselves. We're here trying to represent the community. And now, to do this is, it's a broader responsibility than what you might think. We're not the opposition here. The data center group, Western Hospitality Partners, identified Oldham County, a particular place here, is where they think their business could fluctuate or do well. Should be. This is going on all over the country. People are looking for places to get out of basically the East Coast. I think a lot of it up there. As we found out in Loudon, Virginia, 196 data centers there. You talk about a place that'd be on a military map. It'd be Dayton, Loudon, Virginia, if there's going to be one, with all that. But someone's come here, said they thought they would like to be in this community with their business. Now, they didn't come and discuss it with us in advance. We knew nothing about it. It had been underway in quiet fashion with, I believe, principally LG&E, who is obligated to do business with people that want to come and do business. They have strictures that they operate within. None of us are able just to stand up and say, "No, take your business on down the road." We don't want it. We have to deal with. There's a legal process to deal with everything that comes along. Nothing has come here to us yet. Maybe nothing ever will. We had no, as you all know, there was no information in our planning and zoning ordinances. There was no definition of data center. I didn't even know what one was at the beginning of this year. Really, honestly, I didn't. No. My cell phone works. Streaming works on your TV. We all use these tools that have come about, and they're all. It's a bigger thing than any one of us can probably fight. But we all use them and take advantage of them, but not in my backyard is what we have here, and I think a lot of other places. We hear that, we understand it. I don't want it in my backyard either. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I oppose it in every location in Oldham County. There's a balance here to be worked out, and we haven't worked it out. We have requirements to develop through the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Fiscal Court. We're just not able to jump out there. A lot of people think that we brought this here, we cut a deal with these people. A lot of negative assumptions are being made that just not true. But we don't know what to do about it because we can't keep up with the things that are being said. I have told, you mentioned that I've said there's a lot of other people in Oldham County. That is true. I did tell Mr. Oberg that there are others who have come up to me and said, well, I think the data center is all right. I'm okay with this idea. But a lot of people have said this to me, but frankly, they're keeping their heads down because they don't want to offend all of you. It's easier to be opposed to something than it is for something when it becomes controversial. That doesn't mean I'm in favor of what they have to say, but all people in this community are speaking to me in one way or another, or when they run into me. I can't go anywhere without somebody coming up and discussing something with me. It's part of my job. I accept it, and And frankly, I have enjoyed being in this position for the last 15 years, but now we've got a problem here. I don't really enjoy having this problem. We have had the airport one time before come up that people were upset about. They were upset about the power plant on Commerce Parkway at one time. We live here too. We want everything to go well for everyone in our community. So give us the benefit of the doubt. The only two dates that we actually know for certain are the Technical Review Committee coming up, I believe, Thursday, and that, pardon? Tomorrow, okay. And then we have the Study Review Committee is the what? That's Thursday. Study Review Committee is supposed to be coming up with what a definition of a data center is. They may be able to do that on Thursday. It may take longer than the next meeting. The Planning Commission meetings and Fiscal Court meetings in regard to a moratorium are subject upon the Study Review Committee coming up with a definition and the Planning Commission adopting the Study Review Commission definition and then sending it on to the Fiscal Court and the other legislative bodies in this community. So it's just, there's a process to go through. But we're not the enemy. I heard you say you're not the opposition. Believe me, we're not the opposition either. We are elected officials here trying to do the right thing, the best thing for the entire community, okay? We hear you loud and clear. I've got people sending me emails, long, lengthy emails about things. Yeah, I understand. But we have to gather more facts, and we have to gather more information on what regulations will be in place if we are to allow anything to land here. And that's a question that's open. So give us a little bit of leeway here because we're not the opposition, believe me. All right. If you want to come back up, I'll answer your question, but best go ahead.
I want to make a statement because I think this is something that needs to be said. When speaking with Mr. Fisher, if you understand there's 120 counties, I don't know how many planning and zonings, because I know there's some counties that have their 2 or 3 planning and zonings together that make their planning and zoning, the smaller counties. There's not a definition in the state of Kentucky, in the planning and zoning world in Kentucky. It's a very small world. Don't get too, over the edge. When Mr. Fisher tried to get this information, everybody's like, oh, good. When you guys figure it out, let the rest of us know. I mean that with some sarcasm, but this is a trail that nobody has ventured, not in our area. So we're trying to do this, as the judge said, and take the steps. It's not something that anybody's taking lightly, I can tell you that. But if there were available legislation or available verbiage, like Judge was talking about with the definition of a data center, folks, we would have adopted it. We're kind of blazing a new trail here, so that's why the level of caution that we're doing on our end.
I'll let you speak for another minute.
Thank you. We do give you the benefit. We do give you the benefit of the doubt. That's why we elected you. This data center, this city's growing leaps and bounds. Since I grew up here, it's leaps and bounds, and it's already congested. And you say, well, they chose us. Well, why did they choose us? They chose us because we're the best county in Kentucky. They say they're going to bring in 176 jobs. Do you think those jobs will be from here? No, they won't. They'll be IT specialists from all over the world. Bangladesh, India, Asia, Russia, everywhere. They won't be from here. And our roads that are already congested are going to be 10 times more congested. And of course, who's going to pay for it? They are, of course. They're going to kick the money in. We're going to be a huge town. We'll be rivaling Lexington for the next largest town. And our little lifestyle here vanish.
All right. All right, public comment is closed now, and we're going
There was
to,
one
please.
very special thing I wanted to say, sir, and I'm sorry. Can I just mention it real quick? I think it will help.
Okay.
is that we all have wives and husbands and families, and it's not that we're trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean to you or say mean things. You know as well as I do, when your wife's not happy, what's she going to do? She's going to yell at you, right? What's your husband going to do when he's not mad? Families argue. Families discuss things at higher levels when the importance is higher. This is an important issue, maybe the most important issue this county's ever gone through. And emotions will get high. It doesn't mean we don't love you. In the Christian way, we care, and we hope you care, because we need you and we elected you.
Okay.
Fight for us. Prove what you say. Prove it.
All right, we'll go on to the next item on our agenda today, and that has to do with the bills. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion, we pay the payables.
All right, any questions about those? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Time now for the second reading of the administrative code. And is that Tina Schaaf, please?
Good afternoon. Before you all this afternoon is the adoption of an amendment to our administrative code where we are addressing the delivery of county services in Chapter 10. We decided to take the parks maintenance and remove that from Parks Department and put it under our Road Department. So that is what we're clarifying here under our delivery of services in Chapter 10. It'll read under the Road Department in Section 11. There'll now be a section that says maintaining grounds of county-owned property, which means that's what the Road Department will now be doing.
All right.
Judge, Human Resources Committee met on this, and I'd like to I'm talking right into it. I'd like to ask you all to pass ordinance KOC 25-200-482 regarding Chapter 10 on the delivery of the County Service Administrative Code.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion on that? All right, so got a motion here to amend the administrative code to move the Parks Department maintenance staff to the Road Department, all right?
To the Road Department.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next other committee reports and recommendations, we have some grant awards to make. Magistrate Logston.
Yes, sir. Before you all have a copy of all the grants that we've put forward. We had hold on, let me get to the number, $75,000. The grants committee met, and we have taken all of the grants that we received, and we averaged them together. And as you all see right there, you have the numbers before you on the grants were awarded. They've all been vetted, and they're all ready to go out as soon as we approve these.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion and we accept these grants as read.
I'll second.
All right, moved and seconded. Does the court have anything you'd like to say about it?
Judge, can you put these up on the screen so that
Right.
this whole list? 2 pages.
Don't know here.
They'll be on
Every
the
year,
website.
fiscal court awards different organizations in the community an amount of help, okay? We generally give out $75,000, and it's divided up quite a few ways here. I'll read these off. Brownsboro Community Alliance, $1,875. CASA of River Region, $3,000. Community Chest of Oldham County, $2,750. Critically Loved, that's $2,250. Crossroads Pregnancy Resource Center, $2,250. Dare to Care, $3,375. The Early Childhood Council, $6,500. First Principles, $2,250. Good News Homes, $5,500. High Point Charitable Services, $10,250. Hope Collaborative, $1,625. Hope Health Clinic, $3,375. The Humane Society of Oldham County, $2,875. Kiwanis Club of Oldham County, $4,125. The National Association for Black Veterans, $3,625. Oldham County Community Scholarships, $3,750. Project Graduation, $375. Oldham County History Center, $2,250. Pillar, $1,750. RAFA, $500. Safe Passage, $3,500. Veterans Memorial Park of Kentucky, $3,875. And via the Udell Gardens, $3,375. Some of these amounts were the same as requested by the group. Others were reduced. And you can tell, I don't know the exact number here in front of me, but we try to spread some success throughout the community to help many people who are helping other people get by. So we've got a motion and a second now. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're down to the road work. County Engineer Jim Sullivan.
Good afternoon. Thank you for adding this to the agenda. As part of our fiscal year 25 and spring 2025 paving package, I received an email this morning from our contractor. They were completing the work on Mayo Lane, where we resurfaced Mayo Lane as one of the many roads we were working on. And part of that work included replacement of some damaged guardrails, and the intent was to just replace the W-beam guardrail on the existing posts, but after further inspection, the posts actually need to be replaced. So what I'm requesting is for a cost increase to that paving package to cover the guardrail post replacement. And also, in addition to that, some other work that was done on Glenarm Road, replacing a culvert. We encountered a gas main and rock, and vacuum excavation was required, and a hoe ram. In addition, that was not previously anticipated in the cost. So the cost being requested for that work is in the amount of $20,739. And for your awareness, the total paving package was $1,309.30. So we're talking about a 1.5% increase to the contract. So what I'm asking is that fiscal court approve this cost change increase in the amount of $20,739.
Judge?
Sir.
I'd like to move that we approve this change order, as Jim pointed out, of $20,739.90, and it did come through road committee today with a positive recommendation to the court.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. The recommendation be accepted. Any discussion? Magistrate Hawkins.
Was the guardrail in poor condition, and was that noted in the specs when it was bid out?
Right, so the guardrail, just the beam that runs horizontally, that's what we intended to replace, and we wanted to do it on the existing posts so we didn't disturb the ground, but we just can't salvage the post.
Okay, I see.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll go on to the personnel appointments here.
Hello again. We have 3 personnel actions. Judge, do you want me to make one motion, or do you want me to do them individually?
Do it individually, please.
Okay. We have a new hire at Animal Control, Amber Wagers, as an Animal Control Officer 1, $19 an hour, effective June 2nd.
Judge, I'll make the motion. We hire Amber Wagers for the Animal Control Officer.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The remaining 2 are at the police department. We have a promotion for Justin Dahl as sergeant at $43.30, a base hourly rate, and that's effective on the 21st.
All right, I'll make that motion to promote Officer Dahl to sergeant. Second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The last item is the renewal of chief's contract. That's effective on June 1st, and you all have copies of his contract for the next year.
All right. I'll make the motion that we rehire Chief Smith for another 12 months. All right, second. Any discussion? Magistrate Dye?
When does that contract expire?
It'll be June 1st of next year.
Anyone else? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No.
All right, motion carries 7-1.
Should be 6-1, right? Kevin's not here.
Yeah, that's 7-1.
7-1.
That equals 8.
I'm sorry, you're right. I couldn't add.
All right, I'm not often right, but that was that time. Okay.
You're right, sorry.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have a second public comment now. Is there anybody that here that didn't speak earlier that you would like to say something now? Well, I guess you can. I mean, you know, we're not the enemy here, friends. We're people here too.
Nathan Oberg, 1414 Jaeger Lane. One other comment that I didn't say earlier. Obviously, this is contentious. The community has got some concerns, and you have some concerns. We appreciate your leadership and guidance here. One thing that you can do is facilitate this moratorium. If you guys can call a special meeting and speed up that process at all, I think it would be in good faith to the community. I'm sure the county attorney may have something to say about that it might cause a dangerous precedent where you would have to call special meetings all the time. And I think this is a special circumstance. And I think we're looking at our transformative future here in Oldham County. And we need some time as a community and as magistrates and the judge to get our affairs in order. And we do that by updating the comprehensive plan. We do that by updating planning and zoning regulation and best practices. And those are all things that we can agree upon. If we don't have those things in place, and there are other applicants that are on file and have been accepted, they won't be grandfathered into the moratorium. And that's a threat to Oldham County. And as stakeholders, it's a threat to all of us. So I urge you to take a look at this and consider speeding up this moratorium process so that we can get our house in order. It sets a nice example for the rest of the community, and I don't think it's too much to ask. This is a special one-off type of occurrence. So we can get like I said, we can get our house in order. Thanks for your patience.
All right, thank you. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, this was a short agenda today. Didn't have much on the regular scheduled business, so, okay. Okay, come forward.
Another public comment on a different subject. My name is Robin Vessels. I live at 1320 Bluegrass Parkway. And I was one of the two people who had filed an open meetings complaint. And I filed my complaint first with the presiding officer of the body, which was Judge Vogel. And when you file a complaint, you must tell the presiding officer what remedy you would suggest. And my suggested remedy was that what was discussed in the executive session be discussed in public, in the light of day, out in the sunshine. And the judge and the county attorney rejected my remedy. And when that happens, complaining party has 60 days to appeal to the attorney general. And so I appealed to the attorney general. And there are still some questions I have regarding what occurred in executive session. The terms location and locations were used interchangeably by you, Judge Vogel, when you spoke about the complaints at the fiscal court meeting on May the 6th. So it appears like there was more than one location. So And I would ask, what are those other locations that were discussed during the executive session? And did you discuss giving a multi-billion-dollar Fortune 500 company any rebates, incentives regarding any county taxes, property taxes, taxes on insurance premiums, or any other type of corporate welfare? And why was the hiring of a consultant even contemplated? The consultant would be needed to do what? The other complaint, there was two of them. The other complaint was answered by the county to the Attorney General, and that said, additionally, the fiscal court claims it has legal questions as to the process to be followed by the Office of Planning and Development, as well as, quote, questions about why the matter was referred to the Board of Adjustments and Appeals for a conditional use permit as opposed to the Planning Commission, and then to the fiscal court for a zoning change, end quote. The Attorney General said that as the citing was already known, that even the discussion regarding those legal issues was not allowed to be held in executive session. The Attorney General's decision was dated April the 15th, 2025. There was an issue, and you all knew there was an issue, but you wanted to keep it secret. These are the issues that should have been discussed in the public. If possible, I would like for you to discuss those out in public today. And as Albert Harrison has suggested, there may be some training that is needed regarding the open meeting statutes. Thank you.
Anyone here to address, other who wants to address public comment?
Judge,
Yes, sir. No, you've had your two shots.
the one thing I've got to say about this data center, and yes, we're not your enemy, even though some of y'all might believe that, but I've gotten emails, and I think Ms. Vessels may have said something along these lines. Some of the people have, but I'm going to be just brutally honest here. I hope I don't offend anyone, but sending us blanket emails with no idea or no concept who it came from, I just delete them. I wonder who I'm talking to. I don't know who I'm talking to. And I've got an article here that was cut out of the Courier Journal Sunday. A gentleman from LaGrange talks about the different things about the infrastructure, taxes, all those kind of things. I'd like to know where they get their facts. Where do you get the information? Because not that I don't believe you, but you sure make, as Magistrate Likens has said, we have a decision to make, or maybe not make. The whole thing may just go away. But I still have a certain, regimen that I go through to see, what's true and what's not. And a lot of people have gotten on the bandwagon on both sides of the issue. And I don't believe, if I don't have somewhere where I can go and see where this was said, not some stuff that you get off the internet. The internet's got all kinds of news on it, but it's mostly fake news. I want to know where you're getting your stuff. That's important to me. I'm pretty sure I understand there's a group of people that don't want this. But then again, I'm on this court, and I've got questions for people higher up than me from the state. I'd like to know how come it's taken so long to get the railroad to get an underpass under Allen Lane and 393. And I'll be dead and gone before that happens. Magistrate Likens, we've talked about 42 for 15 years. What? And I know one of the reasons, or some of the reasons, why does it take 15 years? So just remember your frustrations. I have my own frustrations. All of us do up here. And if anybody in this room can tell me why it takes 15 years to fix 42, is beyond me. Thank you.
No, I'll tell you one reason why it's taken that long is because an aggrieved individual who did not want his property taken for the widening of the road took it to court and tied it up for a long time. I think there were actually two people involved in two different court cases there that took a long time. The utilities, we just can't call LG&E or Louisville Gas. The water company, when they do work, they schedule things years in advance. And if you don't hit you're not available to have your work done at the time they've scheduled it, they go on to the next project and put you at the end of the line. They don't have crews standing around waiting to do whatever job comes up. They schedule way in advance. So right now we think Allen Lane is going to be let at the end of this year, the Allen Lane underpass, but that's pushed the Highway 393 underpass forward a couple more years. It was going to be the following year, and now it might be 1 year after that. You remember when I came here in 1972, they were talking about the bridges. Well, going across the interstate, what happened, how long that took forever. And even now it's not satisfactory to people who live in Prospect to come from Indiana and go to I-71 to have to turn around and come back. That progress was blocked. So, and all of us are paying the price the rest of our life for it. So things take a long time. I don't want to keep repeating that we're not the enemy here, but we're getting a lot of inquiries. We see comments. We can't respond to every comment that's out there. I asked these people to last week to get fiscal court off of their sales material for trying to convince the community what to do or how to stand on things. They said they would, and I took them at their word, and I went on. We've got a long list of things that we're dealing with here beyond the data center that people don't have any idea about if you're not interested in our other subjects, but we have to be. The wheel keeps turning. And I would like to say in a very sincere and humble way that, I repeat, we're not the enemy. A lot of people are trying to turn over every rock they can to find us doing something wrong. And we're not trying to do anything wrong. We don't have any hidden agenda here, don't have anything we're trying to push on to people. We're just trying to do a good job. Now, in the executive session, that was something that came up. We were asked to have that a couple meetings back. I thought, well, that sounds all right. Our county attorney has run things by him. He was okay with it. So we had an executive session, and they said there are no more state incentives for the data center other than what has been offered. That was about the extent of the talk. We do have the ability here to offer an incentive to some company we would like to attract here. We've only used it one time with one company, a new one on Commerce Parkway that was very close to going over to Indiana. They had a pretty good deal over there. And we had to offer something to attract them here because they're going to bring 100 employees here and have a nice business there. It's a good business. We wanted it to come to because we're trying to get jobs here. Believe it or not, we don't like seeing everybody in Oldham County have to work in Jefferson County. A lot of people would like to work closer to home and not have to travel and be in that every day, and it helps raise our tax base to have these employers here. We cannot survive entirely on housing here. Everybody that likes our community wants to live here. They bring their family, okay, but your property tax does not pay enough to support the schools by itself. In fiscal court here, we have lowered property tax here twice in the last 10 years. We're living within our means in this body, but the school board can't keep up. That's why, somebody said, well, the PBA raises taxes. PBA does not raise taxes. The school board sets the tax rate. The PBA tells you what your property is worth. Now, if anybody in here doesn't I don't want my property going up in value, but it's just a fact of life. And all of us don't want to sell it for what we bought it for. When you sell your home, you want to get the current value. So you can't have it both ways. But there's not enough money coming in on just property tax alone to pay for the schools. So we're trying to attract employers here. This employer doesn't offer, 175 people. Okay, that's not many. We're not basing it on that, and we're not even looking at it. This just fell on us, and we're having to deal with it. So you can keep turning over the rocks, but there's no there. We're not doing anything sneaky. We're trying to be as open and above board as we know how. And I think the people from the data center opposition, let's say, that have talked to us are coming to that conclusion. I hope that we're not here to, pull a fast one on somebody. Now, in that meeting, we did talk briefly about, no incentives. We're not giving any incentives. We did mention, you mentioned the other places. Everybody knows who they are. They're our Office Park and Commerce Parkway. So we also have the Kentucky State Reformatory. At this point, we're told the reformatory is not selling property. That's what we're told. We've asked about that. I think the data centers ask about it. We're told until they have a master development plan at KSR, they're not moving forward. They're trying to move the prisoners out to Eastern Kentucky, but the Eastern Kentucky facility is not completed yet. So those are the places. There's another place, the two other locations. I think something might fit in there sometime. One of them is up I-71 toward Henry County. But the other places don't have good power available to them. So I'll be happy to say publicly here, somebody said, only one person, I've said I'm opposed to this out on 53. I can't say it any clearer. I've said it several times. But I'm not opposed to I'm not up for saying no to everything everywhere in our county. We don't know enough about how these places can be managed and controlled, and for us to pass up a potential opportunity. We're not going to just take anything or let anybody come in here and do anything. There's rules and regulations, and why we hired a consultant, or are going to, is because we have to have help on knowing exactly the steps we should be taking. We are not experts here. Everything gets done. You got to call in an architect, you got to call in engineers, you're going to build something. You have to have a civil engineer, you got to have somebody determine how much weight can go on the property, not this particular issue, but any place. We use engineers and experts all the time. We have to, because we're not able to do it alone. So we got to get rules and regulations in here that guide us forward in a safe manner somewhere, if there is anywhere to go. There may not be anything that works at any time, but a very poor example I keep thinking of is like 30 years ago, Henry County built a 5,000 seat basketball arena. And you say, why in the world would Henry County build something like that? I don't know what the reasons were at the time, but I do know that every regional basketball game for the last 30 years has been held in Henry County. Okay, now that's a poor example in relation to a data center, but I'm telling you, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater till we know we don't want it, period. There's a lot of things being said, and we're not able to judge what is said and what's not said. Someone said there's no property tax coming from this. Not true. The building, as soon as any building is built, the next year it goes on. If it's half built, it's assessed for a value, and it's going to pay the value of the building and the value of the property. Everything that goes in the building is subject to tangible tax, whether it's owned by a data center or owned by a leasing company. Somebody owns the computers in there, and they have to pay the tax, okay? There's no free ride like that has been said. So there's a lot of things going around. We're trying to sort things out. We're trying to learn, and just have patience with us, friends. We live here too. We're not trying to ruin the county, believe me. We're trying to do the right thing for everybody. And there are many well-off people and there are many poor people in our county. And we have to juggle the difference for everyone. Okay, I'll answer a couple questions. I'm going way out of the Roberts rules here probably, but don't come after me for Roberts rules today, okay?
I'll be nice. Barry Laws, 3411 Findlay Mill Road. I think I'm seeing one of the problems. We are working full-time getting facts, and we could give them to you. Like if you want to present any questions to us, we are a trove of information right now. And I think that's why we're so upset, because to us, we just have this knowledge of at least on 53, what a mess that would be. So, I don't mean this demeaningly, but we're ahead of y'all. You got a lot of other things to do in life. I'm a one-shot pony right now, and this is why it's getting me so crazy. But if you got specific questions, we will be happy to give you the facts, not an internet, whatever. This will be factual stuff. So use us. And I'd love to partner with y'all. And I apologize, I was a little hot earlier. Thank you.
Okay. All right. You want to say something? Trey, you've been up twice, Trey. Come on.
Talked 3 times. I just want to have one quick thing I just want to say, and that's it. I
Well,
won't raise my voice even louder than this.
Please don't. Okay.
Please? May I just
All
say
right.
one last thing?
Okay, sure. I'm for letting the steam out of the room, if you know what I mean.
know,
Go ahead.
I'm all
Okay.
for it. I'm all for it.
Okay.
You've said 5 or 6 times in this meeting alone that you're not the enemy. And we don't want you to be the enemy. We want you to be our partners. We want you to prove to us you're not our enemy. And we'd love it to know where every one of you stands. That's all.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Jennifer Toll, 3905 Hambletonian.
What was your name again?
Jennifer Toll.
Okay.
I'm the lovely woman who's been sending you all the
Okay.
studies. Hopefully you've been reading
Okay,
them.
sure.
Because you're saying you want facts, and these are hardcore facts from our national public health database. So it is expressing to you all the risks that go along. And I guess my biggest concern is because they're not seeking a zoning change, because we don't have all of this stuff in place, your opportunity with potentially a conditional use permit is for you to put conditions on it. If, hopefully it doesn't, this went through, that's your opportunity to put conditions on this, or we're lost. And the data is out there. The laws are out there. We know what the world regulations are. We know what the United States EPA regulations are. We need to protect our citizens. This is a major health concern, and it is not debatable. The noise alone has been recognized since 1968 as a major cardiovascular risk concern. So I just ask that, I hope that while you're doing this, and this is even coming, there is someone in the background doing research into what conditions you would put on something like this, because they need to be there.
Right. Well, nothing will come here without conditions, if anything comes at all. And, okay. We'll take one more question, then we'll wind up today's meeting. Or one more comment. Maybe you don't have a question. Okay.
Just one more. Amy Welborn, 3404 Shady Dell Boulevard. I too am an engineer, and I like facts and gathering information. I would just ask that each of you consider going tonight to the John Black Center at 7 o'clock. There will be 4 gentlemen from University of Louisville speaking on the effects that data centers have, especially hyperscale data centers, because there's a lot more involved than just calling it a data center. And I'm just curious, by raise of hands, like, how many of you have researched the sound or the air pollution or the water pollution that could come from one of these?
Okay, well, I've just tried to, one person has, our planning and zone. I've tried to make it clear that we're not experts here, that we're in the process of
Right.
trying to bring in an expert. We're not up here to defend or explain or, we're going to get to it. We've got a moratorium coming up here and.
Will you be there tonight?
Pardon?
Will you be there tonight?
Well, I'm not sure if it will or not, to be honest about it. I planned on, I heard it was going to be on.
It will be live streamed, so
Right.
you can.
Live stream. I've already told Mr. Hine I'll probably not be able to make it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in facts, but I don't want to go down this road, but I can't help myself, I guess, in a way. We talk about noise, okay? I think Ms. Toll just came up and talked about noise. We've got 13,000 trucks a day going through this county. Is that noise? How about the people who live on the Waterson Expressway?
Well, there's
Is that
different
noise?
frequencies.
We got noise everywhere. I understand noise can be detrimental, but to say you can't, I've lived on a railroad track or near one time. The train put me to sleep at night. I don't know.
That is a subjective answer.
We don't know. We're talking about on data centers is noise. I've heard one data center, and I didn't like the noise. Okay, one I have visited, but I haven't heard any noise from any other. I don't know. Well, I'm just told it makes a lot of noise. Well, I can't. That's a subjective term. I'm not able to
Have you read any of the
assess.
research? Have you
Pardon?
read any of the research? Dr. Livers, who was a NASA scientist and lived in Virginia and worked on research for the developments in Virginia, actually points out in white papers the detrimental effects of low frequency decibel noise that come off data centers. You can't hear it, but it is affecting your body. Your body knows it's there, and it keeps you from going through all your sleep cycles.
Okay. Maybe should these be nowhere?
I'm sorry?
Nowhere.
No, well, I'm asking Ms. Wilburn.
I didn't hear you.
I said, well, I don't know. We can't go down this. We can't debate
I
this
just
today.
plead y'all do
We're
some
trying.
homework.
We're trying to do our research.
Don't just
is all I
look
can
at the
say.
money
Pardon?
involved in this. It's like a scale.
Okay.
There's economic benefit, and then there's the detriments to your community.
Okay.
So please do
Okay.
some homework.
Well, okay. All right. Up. Please. Okay. Please. I've veered off the track here today, so when the people come, honestly, probably violated Robert's rules here today, but I know people want to speak. I understand that, and I don't want to have people leave without a chance to express their feelings. And so I appreciate your indulgence today on that. And we're hearing you. We're not ignoring or looking the other way on evidence. We're trying to gather it, but as I say, this is not our full-time job at investigating data centers. We got 20 other subjects that we're dealing with too. So, okay. Anybody, Measure Likens, you want to wind up?
Thank you, Judge. Just want to apologize to folks out there. I've been elected 5 times as magistrate for 20 years. I think that's the first time I've ever raised my voice, but it's because I felt my integrity was being questioned, and those are fighting words to me. This is a very short meeting for you all out there. It's an hour and a half today. We're in charge of the police, roads, jail, clerk, planning and zoning, 28 different boards that you come here for one specific subject. I just want to let you know there's a mass of things that we have to deal with as magistrates in here. And I'd just like to say this. A lot of people come tell us how bad our job is doing. You have my... go out and run for magistrate next year and don't get... and then you can take all these things that we do. You're welcome to it. You can have my job. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not running again. So thank you very much.
Magistrate Tice.
Really, I have to ask one thing.
Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, my mic is on. Of all of you that are here, are we talking about data centers completely? Are we talking about data centers in rural areas, possibly where the zoning is inappropriate? And would any of you stand up if you could accept a data center in an appropriate zoned location in Oldham County?
They're inevitable. Yes, I can stand up. They're inevitable, but they're not inevitable here.
That's all I'm asking from you, because in my mind, and I don't mind saying it, I'm going over, is all these people just opposed to everything? Or are they just opposed to what's been proposed to us, brought forward? Or if we do the right thing, or what could be the right thing, and put an appropriate zone where you have the traffic dissipated. I've got people in my district right down there in Darby Point in the middle of Buckner, can't stand I-71. So, you know, so this far we've only got 2 people of everybody here that would even consider that.
There's no appropriate zone in this county.
Okay, wait.
There's appropriate zones in the Midwest where there's desert and there's things of that nature.
Okay.
But they don't have the water. See, it takes immense amounts of water.
I think we're getting. Okay, please stop, Mr. Trey.
I didn't mean to open anything up, Judge.
All right, come on, we're not going to go down this, Well,
With respect, it's not just the zone, it's also the regulation, the emissions, that stuff.
We have a data center. We don't care, can't even see it, can't even
We don't even know what it is.
Okay, Don, I'll let you say, but I don't want to just open up an afternoon debate here. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
Wayne asked a question of us.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I make a very
Yes,
short clarification?
go ahead. Wayne did ask a question.
So Wayne, we all can stand up if they're the right size in the right place.
Okay, fair answer.
All right, Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, sir,
agree?
Judge. The only thing, I've got 2 announcements. I had some folks ask me about I-71, the rest areas. I reached out to KYTC last week, and they do not have a confirmed date yet. They've poured concrete, and they're moving forward. But the issue is they still don't have a sewer hookup connection to an adjoining subdivision. So he wasn't sure when they were going to be able to get that completed. So until they get that connection done or that agreement, 71, the rest area will not be open. So hopefully sooner than later. But I had some folks ask me about that. Just wanted to bring everybody up to date on that. And also this week is National Public Works Week. So just want to thank all of the public works folks that are out here, both in the county and the state level, that keep us safe and repair our roads and that kind of thing. So that's all I have, Judge, for today.
Magistrate Hounds.
Thank you, Judge. This is also EMS Appreciation Week. We're very fortunate to have Oldham County EMS in our county. And if you've ever had to use them, I think you would understand how they operate and the care and that they give. Unfortunately, they don't always get to go to the LaGrange Hospital. They have to go to other hospitals, but they do try to stay in the county and do provide a very good service. Starting a week from Monday will be the annual collection for the WHAS Crusade for Children. Fire departments will be out in the neighborhoods and on some street corners and that collecting for the crusade if you're so inclined to give. The budget process is I call it the middle of the end because the budget's been turned in to Department of Local Governments. We're waiting for them to approve the budget process. So just real quick, the directors meet with the judge puts the budget together, the finance committee looks at the budget, judge presents the budget, then we have to send it to DLG and they go through it and tell us if we made any mistakes. I think they found one little error that was super easy to fix. But hopefully we'll be doing the second reading of the budget process in the first meeting in June. But that's going to be contingent on when Department of Local Governments, DLG, gets it back to the fiscal court. If any of the magistrates have any questions or anybody in the public has any questions about the budget, feel free to reach out to myself or Magistrate Logston or Magistrate Jeffries, who are on the Finance Committee. We asked for the moment of silence earlier, and we've been fortunate to have some of the storms go around us or not be as severe. My dog wouldn't believe that, though, because this morning, I forget what time that first clap of thunder was, but she was telling me she wasn't having it. So if you have not signed up for Smart 911, I encourage you to. One of the reasons for that is, and it's not something that I know the National Weather Service put out a post about it. They had to take down the NOAA weather radio alert system, and I believe it's down for the next 3 days, but I could be wrong about that time frame. And this was a pre-scheduled time that they had to take the alert system down to make some modifications to enable it to go into the future. So I've always tell people you've got two ways, or we've got multiple ways to get alerts. You can get any one of the TV stations' weather apps, or you can log on to our Smart 911 and get phone calls, emails, text messages. But the National Weather Service, unfortunately, their alerting system is not going to be operational, I believe, for the next 3 days. And there are some storms coming in tonight, sometime around 7 o'clock. Hopefully they won't be very severe in nature. And if you need help signing up with Smart 911, you can reach out and look on the county website or any one of the fire department websites, and there's a banner at the bottom. You click the banner, and it runs you through the process. It's pretty easy to do. Thank you.
All right, Magistrate Hawkins.
I had the same question Magistrate Tice asked, and I kind of ask people as they approach me about the data center thing and the question is, if it's properly located, is that also going to create more objection? And I think that the feedback that I've received is that if it's properly located and much smaller, that would be okay. But then there are also folks that don't want it in the county at all. So I think we're just, like the judge said, just continuing to assess all the facts and all the information and what the constituents want as well. And I wanted to remind everybody, if you so feel led, wear gray in May as brain cancer awareness. Thanks.
Magistrate Dye.
I've got two things. The first one is I was talking to the Speaker of the House Saturday, and for those of you that have had trouble getting your new driver's license, he told not only me but a group of people that the legislature 2 years ago gave the state money to open 2 new offices, which the governor's office has yet to do. And this year they gave enough money to open 2 additional offices. That makes a total of 4, which the governor has yet to do. But he was under the understanding that there's going to be an office in Crestwood, and it's going to be, he said he thought it was going to be at what used to be called Stess Manor building. And so for those of you all that, like I run around a long time with my expired license because I wasn't going all the way to Frankfurt, which I ultimately had to do, and spend a day in an old Kroger store in Frankfurt. It was lovely. But I did get the $85 license, and me and my wife both, and I don't think I'll find the value of that $85 at my age. And the other thing I want to tell you is school is the end of the year, and as we all know, this is when people start going around the neighborhoods and shaking your car doors to see what kind of goodies that you've acquired since Christmas, because they'd like to take that for their own. So again, please lock your doors when you go in at night, or put your stuff in your trunk. Or if you don't want it, leave the door open. It'll be gone. Thank you.
All right, Magistrate.
Yes,
Hogan.
Rollington Road has been approved, so the work will begin sometime the 1st of June. So we do not have an exact date. We have an approximate date, but I'm waiting for Jim to get back to me so that we can let the public know what day, what week it'll be closed down. It will be closed down for a few months. So please, it's it's going to take patience. You're going to have to go around through Westport Road back down 146. But there's no way around it. We got to close the road to work on it. So as soon as we know something, I will let you all know, the people in Peavy Valley and Crestwood especially, so you can make alternative trips around. So thank you.
All right, thank you. I think,
Judge?
right, go ahead.
Yes, just something to correct what Magistrate Dye said. It's not the Stess Manor Shop. I don't believe it's the old IGA, which is currently the Judicial Center in Crestwood. That's, I think, where they're talking about opening up, because the merchant, the new, I forgot what they call the store that's there now in the Manor Shop, but the Crestwood bought that and remodeled it, and it's a retail store, and I think it would be in the Judicial Center is where they're talking about.
Mercantile.
I'm only repeating what the speaker said.
Okay.
I'm only repeating what the speaker said.
Okay.
I think you're right. I was contacted about 3 months ago by the KYTC asking where they could put a driver's license bureau in Oldham County, and the logical place would be to put it where the temporary courthouse is, because the courthouse is going to move out sometime probably by September.
Right.
That's so. The courthouse across the street, it's coming along. We've got a little ways to go yet, but hope to be finished by the end of August or middle August. I want to mention one other thing too. Do we have Jay? Do you have a slide that you were going to put up somewhere? Is he there?
He's asleep.
Oh.
He fell asleep.
Is he asleep back there?
No,
Okay.
No, he's working on it.
He's working on it.
Changed.
All right.
There it is.
Okay, here we go. We've got this building next door, which is 108 West Jefferson, the former Methodist Church building that the Fiscal Court bought back in the 90s. Judge Black bought this building. It's right next door to us. Since that time, it's been used for offices by the detention center, or jail, but the jail moved down the street with a detention center, and the offices have been gutted out, and we've remodeled this building into a community space. We can hold about 100 people in there for whatever, dinner, luncheon, meeting, whatever. And you can see it's nice. We have pendant lights in there, and the picture of Christ was reframed, and it's new ceiling put in there. It's a nice downtown space for a certain number of people. The bell that was in the church it's an 1850 bell. It was, I believe, an earlier church before this brick church was built in 1888. There was an earlier church there, is my understanding. I believe that bell was in there, since the bell was made in Cincinnati in 1850. I want to thank the Peyton Samuel Head Trust for donating funds to refurbish the bell and help us with some of the interior work in the building. So we're very appreciative of that. And now, what's my point here right now to let you know about this? But we also have a little contest going on. If you go on our Oldham County Fiscal Court website, we're asking for you to vote for names. We've had about the 12 or 13 names for this building submitted, and we're going to pick I guess the one that has the most votes will be what it is, and it could be called Court Commons or 1888 Revival or Grace. It won't be called Anti-Death, so won't be that. But anyway, so if you'd like, you can take a picture of that QR code there, and pardon? Oh, that's for the comprehensive plan. Okay. Well, you go on the website and Oldham County Fiscal Court and cast your vote and give us a name, and maybe your name will be the one that gets the most votes. So I thank you all for coming today. We've had kind of I wouldn't call this a raucous meeting. It's a community expression and we're as concerned as you are about everything coming out right and beautiful for our county. So we'll continue to all work together. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned.